Hello students, welcome to the today's class on theory of machines. Today we'll be starting a new topic, that is brakes. This is the part of the unit 3 of your syllabus. In today's lecture we'll see the introduction to the brakes and also see the classification, and after the classification we'll see how the different types of brakes work. So there is no doubt that brake is a very important member of the machine. Brakes are used to retard the speed of a moving component. Defining brake, brake is a device which is used to apply frictional resistance to a moving body to retard its motion or to bring the body into a stationary position or to hold the body at rest. Brake performs this function by offering a frictional resistance to the moving member by a stationary member like a shoe or band. Brake absorbs the kinetic energy of the moving body and converts the kinetic energy to heat energy, which is then dissipated to the environment. In general, in all types of motion, there is always some amount of resistance which retards the motion and is sufficient to bring the body at rest. Also, after applying brake, the body or vehicle does not necessarily stop immediately. It takes some time, and during this time, it also travels some distance. The time taken to stop the vehicle and the distance traveled during this process depend on the type of braking system we are using, also the surface area in contact, the peripheral velocity, and the coefficient of friction. Also on its ability to dissipate heat. By providing brakes, the external resistance is considerably increased and the period of retardation is shortened. Now, having defined brakes, let us now see the classification of brakes. Brakes are broadly classified in four types: mechanical brakes, hydraulic brakes, electrical brakes, and pneumatic brakes. Mechanical brakes are generally used for low power absorption, and the rest three are used for high power absorption. In hydraulic brake, we use fluid. Electric brakes are used in generator, etc. With the help of eddy currents, we apply the electric brake. Hydraulic and electrical brake cannot bring the vehicle to complete rest. They are generally used for a large amount of energy to be transferred by the brake in regard with load. They are used in locomotives. Hydraulic, pneumatic and electric brakes are used for high energy dissipation. As per the syllabus, we will be focusing only on the mechanical brakes. Brakes are devices that dissipate kinetic energy of moving parts of a machine. In mechanical brakes, the dissipation is achieved through sliding friction between a stationary object and a rotating part. These are used for low power absorption. Depending upon the direction of application of force, the mechanical brakes are primarily of two types. First, the radial brakes, and another one is the axial brake. Depending on the direction of force applied, they are defined as axial and radial brakes. In axial brakes, the resisting force or the braking force is applied parallel to the axis, and in radial brakes, the braking force is applied in the radial direction. These are further classified as axial brake is generally the disc brake, and radial brakes are classified as bend brake, block brake, and bend and block brakes. Though band brake is classified under radial brakes, but the force is applied in the tangential direction. We'll see this later. The band brake is also used to hold the part at its position. This function is applicable in hoists and lifts. These are further classified as simple band brake and differential band brake. Block brakes are also classified as internal expanding brake and external expanding brake. Internal expanding brake is most widely used in automobile. Block brakes are also used in locomotive, and band brakes are used in industrial machines. In brakes, frictional force plays a dominant role. Normally, it is modeled to be Coulomb's friction, where the friction is proportional to the normal force applied. This is very much known to you. So we shall use Coulomb's law with its assumptions to model the friction macroscopically. Having seen the classification of brakes, let us see the various brakes one by one. Band brake. It consists of a rope, belt or flexible steel band which is lined with the frictional material. This band is pressed against the external surface of the cylindrical drum. This is the cylindrical drum. When the brake is applied, the force is applied at the free end of the lever. This is the free end of the lever. This is a simple band brake. Simple band brake will neither have a self-energizing properties nor it can be self-locked. Now what are these terms? We'll see. So let's see how this works. So force will be applied on this in the downward direction like this. So this will be pulled up and the brake will be applied. The force is applied in the radial direction. So this is a radial brake. What is self-locking brake? When the force needed to apply the brake is virtually zero, or that once contact is made between the block and the drum, the brake is applied itself. Such a brake is known as self-locking brake. Now what is self-energizing brake? As the moment of the friction force about the pivoted point is in the same direction as that of the applied force, the frictional force aids the applying brake. This type of brake is known as self-energizing brake. These are just the definition for now. You will understand these terms better during the analysis of brakes. This is the line diagram for the band brake. You can see this is the band or the rope or the belt. So in this case the drum is rotating in the clockwise direction. So this side will be the tight side and this side will be the slack side. So we are denoting the tight side as T1 and slack side as T2. And in this direction the force will be applied. These are the pivoted points. If the drum is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction, then this will be the tight side and this will be the slack side. This is again the same example. This is the differential band brake. In differential band brake, the tight side of the band is connected to a lever from the pivot and in the opposite side of the actuating force. This is on the opposite side of the actuating force. In this case, the moments of actuating force and the tight tension act in the same direction, which helps in reducing the magnitude of the actuating force or power consumption. So differential band brake requires less power to operate. This is basically an example of differential band brake. This is the portion where the drum is placed. This is the band or the steel strap which is connected by this lever, and this is being pulled in this direction, in the right direction, when we are pressing the brake. So let's see how this functions. These are the typical bands. This is how the band is placed. This is how the band brake is functioning. So as and when this lever is pulled in this direction, as it is pivoted here, this side will be moving here, so it will be tightened. So this is the direction of applied force. It will be applied in the radial direction. That's why it is a radial brake. This is all for today's lecture. We will continue again tomorrow in the second part of this lecture. Thank you.